Welcome back to ALW Collectibles. Today we're taking a look at Transformers Power of the Primes Leader Class from 2018. One of the coolest looking Decepticons I've ever seen. This being Evolution Nemesis Prime and Nemesis Pax. Settle in for this one. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy video because there's a lot to cover with this figure, as you can see. We have a lot of accessories and some really cool designs to look at with this thing. Having said that, this is what we get with this set. It is an amazing setup. This in 2018 was an Amazon store exclusive. Now it's readily available on eBay and stuff. But in 2018, Amazon was the way to go and the only way to get this guy. And that's where I got mine. Wow, how things have changed. Alright, having said that, you get a plethora of accessories with this guy. Of course, you get Nemesis Pax, the cab, the trailer / Evolution armor. You get 2 forearm blasters. You get 2 guns, which make up the iconic ion blaster for Optimus Prime. You get the Matrix shell core. And the Matrix core, which we'll look at all that in depth. You get the Dark Saber, a staple in Transformers history, and another little friend that we've seen before in a new coloration scheme. We get Micron Arms Gaia, which also becomes a sword. So really, you got 3 Transformers here. 1, 2, 3. So it's really cool. But as you can see, so many accessories. So let's take a quick look at some of those. You get the forearm blasters. These are the same ones that come with Trilogy Nemesis Prime. Wow, I just drew a blank on that one. Yeah. You get the shell. Power of the Primes, of course. You got that shell. His is all done in black. And I left Optimus back here as a reference. You can see the original comes in gray. You get the Matrix core, which is purple and red, which I think that looks really sharp. Side note, if you ever clip it in that shell, looks amazing. Of course, the ion blaster pieces. And there's no specific names for these 2 guns separately. As I drop them on the ground. They do go together. We'll take a look at that in a minute. The Dark Saber, which looks fantastic. And you will notice this little block will come in handy later. Really nicely designed with some good detail work in the hilt and in the blade. And then our returning friend, Gaia! Or Gaia! Gaia. That is really cool. The last Nemesis Prime we looked at had one of these as well. His was a lighter shade of silver gray, and this is a darker shade with red eyes. And then we get Nemesis and his trailer together. We'll take a look at these separately, and then we're actually going to show you how to put all the weapons on this in the truck mode, which is really cool. It is the standard Optimus Prime trailer in a black color scheme with a Decepticon logo. And I love the teal on this guy. I always have. There's the peg for that. And then we got Nemesis Pax himself. Again, love the look. Think it looks really good until you get back here. How it angles in, and then all this kibble is not my favorite. I'm not a fan of the kibble in the back like that. I think from the front on it looks great. Up to about here, if that panel was out a little farther, it would look even better. But this just kind of ruins it. So I'm glad most of this is hidden by the trailer. Overall, if I rated that, I'd actually have to go to about a 6 out of 10. Because just not a big fan of all that kibble hanging out back there. But I'm not the designer, so what do I know? Rolls quite nicely. You got the red for the glass, teal for the lights, silver with the black scheme, and then you got the red on the side, which I wish it was a little bit lighter to match this. Of course, you got Nemesis Prime's head hanging out back. Here's the hook. Yeah, just not a fan of how set back these are versus here. That's what I said in the original Optimus Prime video when I reviewed it. Small nitpicks on my part. So, you can armor this up, and the trailer just plugs in right there, with all of his equipment. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take the Matrix and assemble that. You'll notice the notch down here and the notch down here. That's going to go just like that. Shouldn't put him away yet. And you can open the front of the truck to reveal the matrix chamber. And you're going to put this in with that purple notch down. And it will clip into place. You'll see how it's designed to fit. Close that up. Let's set him aside. To put all the equipment on him, we're going to do a little bit of transforming on the trailer itself. You notice the tab up here. I'm going to bring those forward. First, we're going to take the wrist blasters and peg those in on the sides. Like so. Set that down for a minute. We're going to take his ion blaster, assemble that. And I always put my thumb underneath to hold it in place. So that'll fit like that. We're going to transform Gaia by flipping this up. Turning this. 1, 2. And you'll notice that little block like here. And I mentioned we're going to use that later. And this is going to plug in on the opposite side. And we're going to put that on the back. And now he is all powered up, ready to roll into battle. Imagine being on the battlefield and seeing that charging at you. Talk about intimidation. The only thing with this mold, with this mold, just the way I said it's kind of funny to me, is I'm not a fan of the gap in the back after you transform it, but I understand. I'm not a fan of that open window. But that in and of itself is terrifying to look at. If you're an Autobot and you're on the battlefield and this comes charging at you, I think it's time to reevaluate my stance for a while. So let's take this off and let's look at Nemesis packs. We're going to transform him. First thing we're going to do is we're going to come to the front where the wheels are and bring those up like so. Just want to make sure it was loose. And now I bring the legs down, separate them, flip his toe out, bring his leg as I'm holding it to forward, I flip his toe out. Now I'm going to bring this forward, and forward on this hinge. Close. And this tab is going to peg in here. Same thing again. Right from the mirror. I wouldn't hold this mirror because those can snap. I gently push from the bottom out to release. Flip out. Close. And again, peg that in here. And mine is a little loose on this. It's always been like that since I got it. Now we're going to come to the top. This entire assembly for the shoulder is going to come out. I'm going to rotate at the bicep and push it straight back. So it clips. And flip out his hand. Drop his arm. Same thing again. Out. Rotate this. Clip it in place. Straighten. Using this tab here, flip out the hand. You'll see Nemesis's head right here. Bring the chest plate up. Push the head back. And there is Nemesis Pax with his wobbly legs. I think that looks really cool. The evil version of Orion Pax. Where Orion was a honorable, whatever universe you go in mostly. Honorable guy, always did the right thing. This is his direct opposite. He is a snake in the grass and a backstabber who will do anything to get ahead. One continuity, he's a career criminal, and another continuity, he's an assassin. In some continuities, he is just a darker form of inner thoughts. So we'll look into the bio in a few. But let's take a look at Nemesis Pax. Wholly new sculpted head. A lot of new additions, spikes, red eyes. You can see the basic Optimus head, but just modified. And then the rest of the body is pretty much the same as Orion Pax from the previous mold, which is the Evolution's Optimus Prime. The only real change is the head sculpt and the colors, of course. And the red chest with the teal gives him that Orion look. There is some sticker detail on him. Not much in the robot mode. You got one on each leg and one on his shoulder. Articulation. Head will go all the way around, up and down. Full exorcist. Shoulder will go around, up and down. Bicep. Double elbow, and this will go in and out. No waist rotation. But, again, Hulk Hogan, he's got to beat with the big boot. This is where he suffers. That plate stops it completely right against the tank. And same thing for transformation because of the pegs. His splits are not the greatest. Thigh rotation, knee bend, and ankle tilt. And he can hold pretty much any of the weapons. I'm going to take his ion blaster. Take all these weapons off this. The forearm cannons can be held in his hand, but it's kind of hard. So if you don't catch it just right, it gives you problems. As now he doesn't want to stand up. He can hold either of the swords. I think it looks pretty cool with the Nemesis, the Dark Saber. It is kind of big for him though. I think it looks kind of big in his hands. He can hold Gia, which looks about average for him. See, he's about a I want to say a little bit larger than a deluxe class. So, but the weapons mostly designed for this mode are these. And of the two, I think he looks cool with just the one. But they give you the second one as well. I just think it looks kind of odd without having the full gun together for the second one. That's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think of the weapons separate like that. I just don't think that looks good in his hand like that. But that one I think looks pretty sharp. Okay, we're going to set him aside, and we're going to transform the trailer, and then we'll put all the stuff on and take a look at it. So we've already done the first part by moving these panels out of the way. This little panel here is going to be popped and popped, like so. Separate that. Just slightly pull these forward so they're untabbed. I moved it with my hand, didn't mean to. And then I just bend that arm out of the way for a minute. I bring that back so it tabs in up here. Bring this over the top. Rotate this. Clip that into place. Push that panel back down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this whole piece, bring it down, turn it around, push this down, and flip up a smokestack from the back. Same thing. I'm going to make to the back, make sure it's untabbed right back down here, which it is. Bring it out. I just bend the forearm so it's out of my way, so it can be moved. These are going to tab back here. Bring this over the top and straighten his arm. Turn it like that. You didn't even see that. Turn it. Rotate the entire shoulder. Bring this down. Push this tab in. And there are his arms. For the legs, I'm going to separate them. Just going to pull this forward or out like so. Bring his foot. I'm going to flatten this whole piece out. And then this is just going to clip over here underneath. And that's the leg. Same thing again. Flat. Bring his foot down. Over. Over. Close this. And this tab is going to stick underneath here and tab in. And there's the Evolution's body. Oh, one last thing to do. Take the trailer hitch, flip it up. There is the Evolution's body. It looks really cool. I like the contrast with the box in the back so you can see what it looks like as the Autobot versus Decepticon. And now we do have to do a little transformation for him to get him to attach. First thing we're going to do is going to take the head, bring it up, bring it back, take the large robot head, bring it out. You're going to make sure just so it's facing backwards. Take the Nemesis Pax head, turn it around so he's facing backwards as well. Flip that in, bring that up. And you're just going to fold the arms up like so and just flip in his wrists. Fold it on the double joint, flip in his wrist. So that's what he looks like from the top. Bring in his toes. Turn these around. Because you're going to use these pegs here I got a peg on each side of that. That's what he looks like. And we're going to bring him in, and he's going to clip in the center piece here. Just make sure you line him up. You hear that clip? And he is all together. There is Nemesis Prime in his robot mode. And that looks intimidating. As you can see, it has a new head sculpt. Other than the head sculpt and a little bit of paint applications, it's the exact same figure as the Evolution's Optimus Prime. So the only difference with this mold is the paint applications. So some websites call it an extensive retool. In my opinion, the word extensive is overused because it's just a retool of the heads. That's all it is. Quick note to note with this figure. When his initial release came out, as you can tell with mine, there was a lot of quality control issues. Some people getting 2 left arms, some people getting 2 left legs. There were reports that some of the heads were missing because he comes packaged like this. So you were missing Nemesis's head. Nemesis Pax's head. So many different issues. But there are ways of fixing those. So a quick little bio on both Nemesis and Giza. So we'll start with Giza the Sword. An evil-hearted Decepticon. Cruel with no compassion. The excuse me, wow, got a frog in my throat, I couldn't speak. The evil partner of Nemesis Prime. Loyal and dangerous. Can see an Autobot from miles away and has given him a massive ego. Rather basic. So that's the bio on this guy, and we'll take a look at him in his sword mode. That looks really cool. And he actually has designs on the handle. And for Nemesis, Nemesis Prime / Nemesis Pax, a dark mirror of Optimus Prime, has many incarnations. He is the evil thoughts brought to life of Optimus Prime in one reality. In another reality, he is a separate entity, a criminal lord. In another reality, he is a dark warlord determined to take over the universe. No matter the incarnation, he is dangerous. He is despised. He is cruel with no boundaries. Where Optimus has restraints and morals, Nemesis is the complete opposite. That's him in a nutshell. The only other fact to mention with him is in some incarnations, he's considered a clone of Optimus that just goes crazy. But we've had that before with Toxitron, so take that for what we will. Having said that, let's take a look at him up close. Love the new head sculpt. It's a very toned down, slimmer head than Optimus Prime's, but still retains a lot of the Optimus Prime look. He's got the red eyes. It's almost like he took Optimus's head to press and just crushed it down and just cut the top off. Still got a massively awesome detail work in the chest. And I think the color scheme on him really just outdoes it. The stickers on this are prone to peeling, so just to be aware of that. And I love how the hands do fold in here on this mold because you do use them actually in storage in this set. Articulation all the way around. Full exorcist, so I love that. Shoulder all the way around. Up, and if you want, you can actually move this plate and go all the way up. So his range is incredible. Bicep, elbow, nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist. Big boot lacks a lot. Arms in the way, can't see it. Back, fairly decent. limited hip rotation, very deep knee bend, and crazy ankle. Something on this figure that's just a note for me, and I don't know about anybody else. I both like the backpack. I'm just not a fan of how it's hollowed on the side. I just think that looks a little off. So we're going to armor him up using this peg here and the top like so. You can have the sword stacked and have them hold all the weapons. I choose not to do that with my figure because I like to utilize the hands on the back. And this is actually in the instructions. Now the instructions say to have the gun pointing up. I like to have it pointing down. And you just plug that into, whoop, as it moved on me, his hand on the back. Yes, now he doesn't want to stand up. Like so. The instructions, like I say, to have it pointing up behind him so it looks like Megatron's silhouette. I think it's kind of silly like that. You can separate the guns and put them on each side, do whatever you want. This is just how I display them. Unfortunately, Giza and the Darksaber will not plug back there because of the limited space. And there's a way of finagling it. You can stretch the hand out all the way here, but it sticks it out all the way back here. So it's up to you. Your toy, display it however you wish. I'm just giving you what I've experienced. And what I like about this is you can still access the matrix. It's kind of dark in here. You can't see it. I am going to use a cheap laser pointer and do that. Nice little setup for anybody to come up with an idea, put electronics in them. I am not technically savvy enough to do that. But this has been Transformers Evolutions Nemesis Prime Leader Class from 2018 from the Power of the Primes toy line. Let me know in the comments what you think of this toy and what you thought of it. Like I said in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit of a longer video because there's a lot to cover with this toy. It looks so awesome with all the accessories, and it is a nice addition to any collection. This has been ALW Collectibles. If you like what you see, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you wish. Comments are always welcome. Thank you to all the channel subscribers. I do appreciate it very much. As always, many, many more videos heading your way. I am working on a setup for a battle layout again, like I've done in the past. We'll see how that one goes. You all have a good day. I'm going to get ready for another video, and Nemesis is going to go try to take over the universe.